One, go. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to the shit show. This is your host, Son the Drummer, bringing you an improv story for YouTube land. We are doing the Crazy Werewolf today, and let's jump into it. Alright, the last little bit of what happened, the story, is our werewolf finally got to the mental hospital and found out that he really was a werewolf, among other things, that he was pretty much a supernatural creature of his own and that he wasn't actually going crazy. He found out that he was unlike any werewolf he's ever known. There's a 5-month time skip too from everything that happened to now, and the one thing I do know that's going to happen in this one is he is going to be released from the hospital in this one under the doctor's care. That is. I'm just gonna make sure. All right, Dr. Luna. No, Jasmine. She's also the Luna of the pack as well. Then you have Jake from State Farm. Nah, I'm joking. Um, and Axel, the if I didn't already give him a name, I don't think I did. The alpha of the pack. Like I said, this is 5 months later, and let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, the picture on this side of the screen is not the final picture. It's just I had one specifically made for this, but I couldn't find it, so I went ahead and went with this. So, all right. Crap, my brain just went dead for a second. Sorry. One of the things about, all right, Lee Trueblight, um, heard a knock on the door, and he saw the alpha come in. He said, "Good evening." Good evening, Axel. How are you doing today? Oh, before I really get into it, the past 5 months, um, both the Alpha and the Luna both have been working a lot with our protagonist, and on top of that, he also found out that he was actually an alpha of a pack of his own, but until he gets up to snuff and until he finally has his wolf out, he's pretty much staying there to learn from him some too. So he's been getting his mental stability in the right place to where, and trying to make himself actually believe that there's more things out there than what the mundane world has ever produced. Or, and he also, when he found out he was going to become an alpha of his own pack, and the role of that pack is actually something he would greatly prefer, because the biggest goal of that particular pack is protect the mundane world from the supernatural creatures. Um, so he actually enjoyed that when he started learning from that. He also talked to the former alpha and acting alpha of that pack. Come to find out that he actually saved his kid and everything too, outside of beating him in combat. So he has his utmost respect, but he's going to continue running the pack until our hero, um, Lee, ends up stepping up to the plate. He also understands that he also has a lot of work to go through. Well, back to present day. Alpha Axel came running in and is like, I need to ask you a question. I need to know it right now. Without. And he's like, sure. What's up? Are you in love with my Luna? He said with a furious, like he's almost growl with spit. Like, um, Lee grinned for a sec. Well, of course I'm in love with your, or of course I love your Luna. She is a one of a kind person after all. But you know who I'm really in love with? He goes, you, big boy. He said that jokingly. He's like, uh, actually just stopped in his place. Like, wait, what? No, no. Well, Axel's like took a step back. Whoa, what? No. Lee ends up laughing out loud, and it's like, of course I love you, Ilona, and I love you too, but you should know by now I love both of you like the parents I never had before. I mean, I know that may not come much coming from somebody that has his own pack and has dozens of people that you treat as kids every day, but to me, I am I'm new to all this. I've never really I don't never remember having a mother or a father. I mean, I went from losing my literally losing my memory to going straight to a mental institution, because and then I just got out not long ago and I came here and ended up going right back into one. Yeah, but this one ain't don't make you feel like you're going crazy for seeing all the shit that you do. And plus, you're one hell of a wolf to be at that. Technically, Lee said, I don't even have a wolf yet. But there was actually something I was wanting to talk to you about, Axel. What was that? Um, I need some experience with the outside world, but I don't really trust myself just going out. So I was actually wondering if I could stay with you and Jasmine. Wait, what? Alright, hear me out. Because I know you guys are a little bit different than your average pack, that you don't act yes, the your house is on the same in sight of the pack house, but you guys live separately. And I was wanting to live with you guys until I actually got my shit together, if that's lack of a better word. He actually, I was kind of thinking the same thing, to be honest with you, except not for not for that, but that way I can actually start training you a lot better for to be able to control your power. Plus, I'm actually looking for a mage to see if your magic, to see if a way to train your magic, and I'm also actively looking for a cultivator as well, or not really a cultivator, yeah, but that's a little tough for me because cultivators and supernatural beings don't really go hand to hand. Half the time we're being hunted down by them for get their own strength. Not all cultivators are like that, but I am more curious about them. I think I met one before, and that's how I became like almost invincible now. But on the other hand, yeah, invincible is not the word for it, kid. You have strong magic. You have very strong outward appearance. Shit, even a magic sword would have a tough time piercing your hide. Silver has no effect on you whatsoever. And even your wolf, um, yeah, you can even talk to your wolf before it officially comes out yet. I mean, there's a lot of things about you that is quite frankly different. Able to use, and on top of that, I have a stinking suspicion that you're not even a regular werewolf to begin with. What do you mean? I think you're a pure blood, or not. How can I say that? I think that you're a first generation of a werewolf clan, meaning a pure blood actually made you, which is weird because I have never heard of a mage being turned into a werewolf of any kind. So, but those are some of the mysteries that we have going on. He's like, I mean, I don't remember anything past the time where I lost. And even then, the vague memories that I have resurfaced are all ones of me terrorizing my or ones of me being scared of my super religious family or these super religious people. Yeah, it is kind of tough, but I don't know. I really wish I knew, or please, I really did wish I knew a way to get some of your memories back so we could find out more about you. But at this point in time, training you so you don't end up, accidentally getting rid of half our city in one fell swoop or brainwashing a bunch of people by accident. I have not brainwashed anybody. Yeah, but you're capable of it. No, I'm not. You just. And another thing is, one thing that I am going to be working with you personally is controlling your aura. my aura. That's actually one of the things I was planning on taking you today, but um, and I'll talk to Luna later for at lunch and see if we can convince her, my Luna, to come in here. And then just as she was about to, he said, "Luna, here comes Jasmine strolling through the door." Yes, that's actually a perfect idea for him to live at our house. Like, wait, what? Of course, I was listening. You think I'd let him in here along with you with what I knew you're probably going to ask him after the conversation we had yesterday? Even you think of him more as our pup than just a regular old pack member. Yes, I know, and given that he isn't even of our blood, she chuckled at that. But yes, I was actually coming to ask him to, right after you guys train in here for a little bit, I'm gonna have some people start moving your stuff to our spare room in our house. Wait, you already had all this planned, said Axel? Oh, of course. Who do you think gave you the idea? As she winked seductively while seeing Lee cringe. Like, eh. What, you don't think I'm beautiful? And she shook. Like, please stop. I really do see you as my mother, and that's just ick. Axel started laughing. He's like, I wouldn't laugh too hard if I was you, said Jasmine. Axel's face went pale. Like, Lee started laughing at the top of his lungs. All right. So, anyway, where are we going for our training? He's like, he kind of had that mischievous grin. Huh. Where indeed? Like, no, actually, I'm about to go take you to the woods because I know you have some draconic abilities too, and that's something I can help you with to a certain extent. Wait, really? Yes, to a certain extent. I know a lit because of the class of werewolf I am, or before I became a werewolf, I was actually a dabbler in some magic, and I was specific in growing magic. Because yes, I am a converted, but not fully. The werewolf gene was already in my system. I just never brought it out because it was like too um twice removed type deal. And then when the werewolf bit me for the first time, it reactivated all of my previous abilities, and I ended up taking my stance as an alpha in this pack. Plus, my dad was a werewolf, which I didn't know at the time. But anyway, so I'm going to teach you what I know and how to control your aura before, but mainly about controlling your aura, which should be a simple task for you after you understand what I mean because of what you can do. It's a hard time dealing with the fact that you can do it. So part of it you already know. It's just learning how to control yourself, if that makes any sense. Because most people can't see what you see, jackass. He rolled his like, hey, you can't help that I'm a badass. said Lee jokingly. Oh, I'll show you badass when I show you my wolf. He jokingly laughed. Uh, he was like, bring it, old man. Hey, I'm not that old. You're ancient. Ancient. Like, ugh. He grunted. I was like, all right, let's go. You will not, you won't be coming back here tonight and ready to have some fun. Or, well, I'm going to have fun. You're going to be tortured. He laughed evilly. It's like, oh, Lord. I'm scared of the big bad wolf. Oh, you will be. Like, oh, will I now? Uh, come along, damn pup. Both Jasmine and Lee started laughing at the same time. Yeah, but before they left the door, it's like, hey, I do need to tell you guys something that's pretty serious. What's that? I want to appreciate everything you guys done for me for the past 5 months. I know I only have a month left until my birthday when I turn 18, but I want to thank you guys. Thank you both. You both are amazing people that actually helped me understand who I am, even to the at least a little bit. Both of them turned around and was like knowing how big those words for him are because of who and what he is, and how Axel's first reaction of him was, and Axel and him didn't really have a good relationship for like the first month until he started realizing who he was as a person, and then started greatly warming up to him. They both actually shed a tear before they caught themselves. And that also goes to saying for your wolves too. Even though for the life of me, I don't know anybody who would name their or their wolves was actually named Alpha and Luna. Like, uh, yeah, my wolf's kind of out there. When hearing, then kind of cringe when hearing his own wolf. I'll show you out there, you asshole. Like, and then turning around to Luna, and she's like, my wolf has been obsessed with the power of Luna ever since I can remember. Like the power of the moon goddess. So it's like, yep, my name is Luna. Care what it was? I don't care. It's Luna. And then we actually became the Luna. Many things even weird. Yeah, a wolf named Alpha, which becomes an alpha of one of the most powerful packs in the country, and a wolf named Lunar. Luna. Luna the Lunar. And end up being the Luna of one of the most powerful packs in the country. Not many people actually, Luna and their Alpha has known certain amounts of magic and stuff. But, you know, I've been studying businesses and all sorts of crazy things all the way through my life. Well, anyway, let's let's get going. Got in the car and then saved a little bit of time here. Nothing eventful happened until they got to the woods and went outside and went to inside the woods for a little bit. It's like first things first. You can't um shift yet, which is also kind of weird because most werewolves shift at the age of 16. But you're nowhere near most werewolves either. And I have a stinking suspicion around the time you become 18 years old where you're going to start learning. Well, but anyway, time for me to explain to you, or most wolves I'd have to explain how to see aura and what how, but you do that naturally. All right, I want you to focus on me and tell me what you see or the power you see around me. He's like, he looks over at Axel and it's like, I see I see a wolf and I see it have like green green stripes down your back, but on a pure black wolf. But everything's a little faded because it's not the actual real you, if that makes any sense. Yes, it does. What you see is you actually see the aura of the being. That's because werewolves are separate individuals. One thing that is different about you is yes, you're able to speak to your werewolf, but your werewolf is actually just another consciousness of you, unlike me. What do you mean? Your werewolf knows more about you than yourself. Your werewolf is the subconscious part of you, where the difference between me and you is me and my werewolf actually have to have a good identity with each other. Where you and your wolf are the same being in the same body, forging the same soul, where me and Alpha are two separate beings that share the same body, that are congruent with each other. If that makes any sense. It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, now let's get back to focus what we are doing. Alright, you can see right now your aura is so strong that it's actually became visible to even mundanes. How bad do you think you could scare the shit out of body if you ended up walking to a group of mundanes? I mean, immediately people are going to start fearing you. Immediately, even if they can't see it, they'll feel weakened by you. And a lot of people will either be completely aroused by the situation or completely suppressed to a point of anger. Neither one of those things you want to let happen. So I am here to help you train to at least get a little bit of the basics today so we can go eat in the city this afternoon. So one of the first things that you then it should be possible to at least reach the first stage before lunch because you already know more than most of half of how to do it. You just have to train yourself how to do it completely. And this will majorly affect how and where we can actually go. Because if you went to the pack hat, even for like a cup of milk, you could seriously cause mayhem because wolves don't like being suppressed, which will force you to actually accidentally suppress them even more, which would cause a bigger issue. Yes, Alex. Alex. Axel. Yes, Axel. How do you always mess up my name like that from time to time? Oh. Ooh, shiny. They both fly. Alright, getting down to business, so. And then Axel goes to explain to Lee, actually, after a couple hours, more like at the very last minute, he finally figured out what Axel was trying to say and actually started gathering his energy and started pushing it down. And he thought he did a great job, where Axel, on the other hand, in his head, his mouth is like dropping to the floor. The one thing he didn't take into account is his high cultivation because he's no cultivator himself. So he was actually building upon his own cultivation and everything subconsciously by doing all this as well, which was kind of frightening to see. But damn, this boy is a natural born genius. But once pushing it all in, he got the first stages of concealment. Concealment, and he almost got to the second stage by the time they actually called it a quits today. He went. Finally got to go out and actually got something to eat in public for the first time in forever. A lot of people looked at the Luna. A lot of people looked at the Alpha, but nobody, hardly anybody, looked at him at the moment. So, anyway, they did this for about almost 4 weeks straight, almost every day. They would get up, train, go to a place to eat, to technically train even more until on the last day of the third week. And it's like, yeah, after today, I don't think we need to do this much more because your concealment is better than mine now. What? Really? No. Yeah. If I didn't know any better, I would say that you were a mundane, like even more mundane than most of the regular mundanes. So, anyway, everything was progressing rapidly, smoothly. So the day of his birthday came, and they were actually going to, for the first time on his birthday, going to explore the city some. They went to different shops, different like fun businesses, to even making reservations for a breakout room and everything too. But here comes the bride. No, just kidding. They went inside some game shops, some nerd shops. They went inside some clothing, bought a few things here and there. They started. They were talking about back and forth how much he grew even in the last month, till an incident happened. They were walking out of a nerd shop when he heard somebody, "How dare you go into a public place, you damn menace." He looked back, all three of them look back and see the leader of the council. So they went all and did what, no, the leader of the council of that city in that province. And he started yelling at him. He's like, "You don't need to go into my shop. You don't need to be in the city. You need to get the fuck out. You have no business being here. You're a pretender." And started curses in his face, while all these people started noticing him. Like, what in the world? Why is this person yelling at this dude? So, I mean, he even got to the point where he was starting to change into a wolf before Lee finally just growled, straight up growled. But before the next thing they knew, before, and it was like, "I'm gonna get the council involved," and that's where Luna snapped at him. "You will not get the council involved in this. He is my adopted kid, and I have the paperwork to prove it, regardless if he's been emancipated or not." Uh, Sorry about that. Well, they started gathering a crowd around him. Next thing you know, this the guy from the the leader of the council, ends up turning into his wolf right there in the pub daylight, growling at this guy. One man, he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And Alpha and Luna, the two wolves of the Alpha and Luna, Jasmine and Axel, they were even visibly pissed by this entire situation because even their wolves seemed to start to respect the so a major commotion was starting to happen, and Lee didn't understand what the events that started playing out right in front of him will change the very course of what he ends up becoming. Because the next thing you hear out of his mouth is a howl that made every supernatural creature in a 500-yard radius just run as Lee started to have his first transformation. He started flashing with light, this brilliance of light, as he is screaming in pain with his claws coming out, knowing that he's going to have to receive some more training after this to control. But right now, he also knew that he had to put foot to ass. But all of a sudden, when he heard that howl, he knew it was time. Without knowing it was time, but he knew it was time. It was time to rock and roll. It was time to show finally his wolf can actually come out to play. But this pain, though, is the worst pain he ever felt in his entire life. But he was also warned months ago that the time frame of him actually, whenever he actually transferred for the first time, it's going to be pain beyond unbelievable. But after the first time, you'll start feeling less and less pain until you feel nothing at all. Which I think is part of the problem when it comes to my aunt. So, so anyway, well, the council member guy just attacked him mid transfer too, which was severely downed upon. Yeah, I ain't taking no more than this insult. Where Alpha and Luna blocked his path with ease, also confining them in leaves and light, the light type spell that was shackling him down to the earth. The, and then all of a sudden, you see, he saw this massive green wolf with draconic runes going down from the top of his head all the way down to his back to even his tail. He was green with, which was abnormal for any type of wolf. Summoning, as the wolf yelled, all of the wolves in that city bowed to. Even a wolf that was in the shadow was even forced to go to his knee, which shocked the hell out of him. After his stupor, the hooded man that came out stopped everything with his absolute before this went out of hand. Um, this man in this hood stood there, looked. He told the wolf to calm down. Then the wolf told him to piss the fuck off. I am done with this old man hassling me over and over again. How dare he try to command me what to do? As he said that with a growl. The man looked up without showing his face whatsoever, keeping. It was almost like he had a spell of darkness covering his face. I understand, young pup, and he will do better. But right now, if you don't calm down, you're going to end up hurting a lot of people. You two fight here, you're going to end up hurting a whole lot of people and end up pissing off even more wolves in hand of everything else going on. So he ends up growling at both of them and then looks over at the shift at once. And he hears behind him, "You can't do shit." Then Luna finally comes over there after she de-shifted herself and grabbed the wolf by his claws. Keep in mind, this wolf is the biggest wolf any of them has ever seen. He stood, his leg himself stood about 6 feet. So, and with including his body and everything, he was about 15 feet tall. And with his massive aura, that's beyond alpha aura, came out, there was nothing he could do. So he finally, like, I finally transformed into my wolf state. And he actually started jumping up and down and late in his wolf form when he heard the guy in the hood. Wait, what? Yes, this is the very first time. Wait, what time is it? The man in the hood told him the time. Is like, this must be a series of unfortunate events because my time that supposedly I was born was right around this time. I don't know how I remember that with my lost memories and everything, but I'm 18 now. And I have my wolf finally. he ended up saying with Lee. The man in the hood wore a frown on his face until the wolf finally, Lee finally deformed himself back into, which the man couldn't really see his face at all, but an era of shock happened. Like I knew it. How I knew. I know how I know. And then he looks over there at the council member, and then Luna is like, "You three come here. You stay over there." And matter of fact, you go grab you something to eat and hand it on about a wad of $100 bills. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Where does that come from? It's like, eh, just take it, kid. Just consider it your first birthday present. Well, second. It's like, huh, well, and it's like, what's your wolf's name, by the way? My wolf's name? I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a longer conversation with him again. It's like, hmm. It's like, all right, I gotta talk to these three. Go get you something to eat, and I'll be right back. Or then your adopted parents will be right back. And so he ended up going back to this alley and took down the hood. Immediately, all of them bowed directly to the floor. He was a pureblood, as far as they can tell. He might even be one of the first. And to, you know good and well who I am, don't you? Yes, I do, the counselor said. You're literally one of the first wolves born here on our planet. If anything, you're kind of like a were-human instead of a werewolf, he said cheekily, but don't give me that tone right now. This is not a time for your fucking jokes. His eyes widened as he was looking at the ground. You too, stand. Counselor. Then he proceeds to go down and grab the dude by his neck, slams him by the wall. Your head of the council has not here been revoked. Huh. Why? For that instant. And then immediately he felt his bones in his neck creak where they felt like they were about to shatter. And he goes up against his ear. More fucking word, and I'll snap your neck to make sure it's powder to where it never grow again. That's why, like, from here on forth, you have lost your position on the council. A temporary head of the council will be. You must study under her. Her? Why would I? Shut it. As he cowered. Wolf Luna, aka Jasmine, come here. He ends up grabbing both of her both the hands of him and felt this power transfer into her. And the counselor started feeling a little bit weaker while she started growing in strength. He let go until this comes forth. She is now head of the council, and you will be her very assistant till I find it otherwise for you to be competent. And even at then, you will not regain your full power back. You will have to earn it. I gave you too much leeway when all because this little wolf over here, this pup, hurt your feelings. You ended up going after him like the freaking plague, even setting those corrupt wolves after him. He said with a little bit more fury than he to let out. You two, don't let your own feelings for each other cloud your own judgment. You are the lead of the. You will be under for a little while. I know this might be uncomfortable, but I see no recourse to be able to do everything that needs to be done. He looks at Axel. Thank you for training that wolf. He will need every bit of training he gets. And there'll be somebody here to train him with magical abilities within the next 24 hours. And I appreciate you. Make sure they don't. Make sure they have a house at the edge of the territory of the city. He's a true mage, and he does need to learn. And there's also some other things in the motion to get him one more trainee to help train him to be control every aspect of his life. And he looks at him, please show him, keep showing him the love of a mother. Like, I very much appreciate you two go. I need to talk to the former chancellor, show him the error of his ways, and to punish him a little bit further to understand my fury with him right now. Yes, they both bowed, and then they kind of scurried away, not wanting to know the the cloaked figure looks down at the former chancellor, picks him up by his neck, by the back of his neck, pulling him back up to his feet, and slams him up against the wall again. Haven't I been punished enough? You will protect my kid at all costs. Do you understand me? Or you will never gain anything back anymore. Do you understand me? Yes. Wait, you're. Looks up. No, he isn't. But you're one of the first. Yes. And he's from my mate, which everybody knows I've been looking for the past centuries. You understand your folly now. You understand what it will take to regain your position. You have harmed not only a pure blood, but my son. But he even has a different. Oh, I know. It is taking everything I am not to kill you. As his voice started getting deeper, more enraged with this mortal scum. Like, let me tell you right now, anything ever happens to him, your entire family, down to the smallest child, will be eradicated from this planet. I don't care if I have to ship the young ones into space, see if they can survive themselves. Do you understand your folly? Yes, yes, I am so sorry. As he uh, grabs him by the neck and yanks him up in the air and then slams him back up against the wall. Now, to get it is serious that I have you to train under the Luna. That also means training under at the mental institution and all areas of her life. You really need to learn how to express yourself. But I do have one mission that I need you to relay to. I want you to, after so often, I need you to let them know who he is and why he's important. That wolf, my son, will end up being one of the most powerful beings on this planet one day. Wait, what? Or he'll be on par with the lunar goddess herself. He's damn close, if not there already. He just has no training. So, I want you to learn from her because you will need it here in the days to come. And also learn taking time to realize being all powerful doesn't mean everything. Doesn't mean that you're better than if somebody's more powerful than you. You really need to learn humility. Just because you have all the power in the world doesn't mean everybody needs to bow at every whim of your feet, or your pride gets so hurt that you're willing to kill a pup that doesn't even have their wolf yet. You will never gain the full abilities that I granted you when I gave you the leadership of this council. You know how important this council is. You will have to fight tooth and nail. So, leave, follow the Luna, and maybe you might be able to find your own mate. Even though I know you have a child. Alright, go. Before I can't hold my anger back anymore. Do you understand me? Yes, 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 yes. And he goes running off. He dies. Man, I cannot believe my son is as strong as that. strong enough to make somebody as powerful as me kneel without even truly understanding half of what he is. And somehow he's done the impossible. He's a cultivator, he's a mage, and he's a pure wolf. You know, he is kind of like a regular werewolf in some sense because of his second personality. That's, if I remember right, is how the different personalities actually transferred eventually. That's been a long time ago. I do like he's going to what his plan, his pack is going to be like. I expect great things from him, but right now, I cannot reveal. No matter how much I want to go over there and hug my own child, he shed a tear when he finally noticed other presidents right behind him. That actually explains quite a bit. Turns around to see Luna there. How dare you? It's like, I mean, no disrespect. What I'm saying is, you shown, I know your judgment, but I came back to ask why you wanted me to lead the council. Know how important this, and it ain't like I don't have enough thing. He shook his head. But now that your son's involved, I think I understand a little bit better. What do you mean? Um, what do I mean? You want your son to be in an environment where he's loved. That's one thing that me and Axel does. I really do. No offense by the words I'm about to say. I really feel like he's my own pup. He growls for a second. He's like, I know. But I will never say that again to you because I know you how painful that is for you, of all people. So I pledge my allegiance to you as the temporary leader of the council. Do my absolute ability to protect your son. And I will never, even under threat of my own life, tell anyone, even my own alpha, any of the information I just learned. So I thank you. I accept the pledge. And then he ends up grabbing her arm and then puts a rune on her arm right here. She went wide when she saw that rune. This is my gift. Please do not tell my son, he does not need the confusion and is I understand more than you know. And work that stinking rotten dude to the bone. Well, he needs to learn what it means to be a real leader of men. One thing I think his father hosted upon him before he died, giving him a over sense of accomplishment. but his arrogance needed to stop, and he's lucky. If he was anybody else, I would have eradicated him on the spot. Just for the crimes of getting that in alpha, which I'm glad my kid erased those people from existence. He does take after his mom as well. What do you mean? His mom's a pure blooded mage. That as a pure blooded wolf in one of the first mage families. And he also found a way to cultivate on top of that. Without training. And he still has a hard time believing in what he's saying even now, even knowing. So please guide him. I have to go back on my quest to find his mother. Those damnable mages forcing her to hide like that. If I could, I would go to war with that clan in a fucking heartbeat. And if it was just that clan, I would be able to fight against the evil, despicable shit. But no avail. Go on, fill your duty, and still thank you for loving my son. The guy in the cloak vanished before our eyes. I will protect him like he's my own, even without you around. I understand you can't be in his life, but I still don't understand how you could have gave him up in the first place. He said with gritted teeth. I really hope you heard that part. As she walked off, Steve flew to the sky, jumped on top of one of the skyscrapers. Trust me, I knew. I knew he'd have never left my side, even if I had to start war with the cosmos themselves. And I don't blame my mate for hiding him. He knew, she knew what I would do to keep him by my side, and shit that would end up following. Alright, this is where I'm ending it today for this particular story. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. If there's anything you would like to see happen throughout the stories or anything like that, leave a comment below, and I hope you enjoy it. So, peace.